Good Tuesday morning. I'm meteorologist Jeff Gerber. We have our stream out here for this morning at 11:30. We do it every day at 11:30, 11:45. If it's not me at this time, it's Carrie Cooper who usually does it Wednesday through Friday. I do it Monday through Tuesday. So we're going to cover maybe a few showers out there for this afternoon. Just basically hot and mostly dry today and tomorrow. And then as we head towards the end of the week, of course, we're going to be watching the Gulf of America for a possibility of some tropical development. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Right now, the system's over Florida. We'll look at that on radar and satellite, and we'll also look at more possibility of where it could go here in the next 15 minutes. So we'll be looking at that. Of course, we'll look at your 7-day forecast, and we'll look at what's going on around the rest of the country as far as active weather. So let's get started with our forecast just right here in southeast Texas for the rest of the day. We'll see highs into the lower to maybe middle 90s, maybe as high as about 94 this afternoon. We'll drop off into the upper 80s by 6 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, lower 80s and just partly cloudy skies. We'll go mostly clear as we head towards tomorrow morning. There are a couple isolated showers I'll show you on radar, but really not that much out there for right now. Our allergy report up a little bit from yesterday. Medium weed, grass, mold. Tree has continued to be at 0. This is not the time of year for that. As we take a look up towards Jasper, not bad. Partly cloudy skies, a lot of blue out there. This camera brought to you by Provalis, part of the Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. Of course, we're looking at the Jasper County Courthouse. A few more clouds down here around the triangle as we have a little bit moisture in the atmosphere, but not looking bad. Here's right here at the 12 News studio, part of the Roofing 911 Live Skycam network, and this is brought to you by Mid-County Plumbing. And you can see a couple of clouds here and there. Nothing like we saw yesterday at this time. We had the darker clouds. We had the scattered showers across a good portion of the area. We're not seeing that for today. Not going to see it tomorrow as well, as we have a little ridge of high pressure building in, a little bit drier air. So not too bad. Looks like, speaking of not too bad, the traffic's going along pretty smoothly out there. So getting ready to head out to lunch here in the next half an hour or so. I don't think you'll run into too many problems. At least you won't have to carry the umbrella. There are a few showers, like I said, but nothing too widespread, and most of those are across southern parts of Jefferson County. And we'll take a look over towards Lake Charles, and once again, a little bit in the more way, some bluer skies over there in the Lake Charles area as we look down towards the port of Lake Charles on this Tuesday morning. Temperature-wise, already at 90 in Port Arthur, getting there, and orange at 89, not quite to 90. 87 Beaumont, you can see Silsbee, Woodville, also Jasper at about 88, and then we're showing about 85 right now in Kirbyville. 89 in Lake Charles. Over in Houston, we're sitting at about 90. We have a number you can text us at, 409-749-9302. If you have any questions about the weather coming up over the next 7 days. Now, hopefully I'll explain it pretty well here in the next few minutes, and you won't have too many questions, but you do have a question, you can always text us at that number, 409-749-9302. Now, we will not accept calls at this number, but we will accept text, and we'll try to answer your questions as we check the phone from time to time. Not looking at it constantly, but we do check it from time to time, and we'll try to get back to you as quick as we can if you have any questions. So, like I said, hopefully I'll answer most of those here in the next 10 minutes or so, but that number, might want to write that down and keep it handy in case you do have any questions. All right, here's radar, and like I said, very spotty showers across Jefferson County, a few towards Liberty and Chambers County, but that's about it. Not much more than that. We had a little bit more in the way of activity on radar yesterday. We'll zoom in a little bit here, and you can see maybe a little bit of a downpour over towards Port Arthur, Taylor Landing, seeing a little bit of a heavy shower, and as we look right down I-10. If you're heading down I-10, coming up from Winnie to Beaumont, going from Beaumont to Winnie, you'll run into a couple of downpours here and there, so be careful out in the roads. And then it looks like as you head out 90, there's a couple of isolated showers as well. So this is probably less than 10% coverage throughout the whole entire area. So we'll see maybe a few of these throughout the day, but they're going to stay pretty few and far between for sure. Let's take a look around the rest of the state. This morning we had heavy rain once again back out towards Kerr County. They had another flash flood warning out that way earlier this morning. Luckily, all that activity has died down now, helped them do some more recovery for today, but that moisture continues to stream right into parts of central Texas thanks to a ridge of high pressure kind of funneling that moisture in to parts of central Texas. So hopefully that will stay quiet out there for a little while. You can see really not much going on across East Texas. A couple of those showers right along the coast that I just showed you. That is about it. Let's zoom it out and take a look around the rest of the country. There's been some activity up through the Dakotas for this morning. Some scattered showers and thunderstorms there, but all the way back into it looks like parts of Montana, seeing some thunderstorms around Billings for this morning. A little bit of activity through southern parts of Illinois, Indiana, Ohio for this morning, and then on the East Coast, not too much going on. A couple of showers look like they're working off the coast out into the Atlantic. Little spot of rain you can see down in northern Florida. That's what we're watching. That is what the Hurricane Center is watching as far as maybe some development as it moves over into the Gulf of America as we head towards, looks like later on today into tonight. But you can definitely see a rotation here, a spin as it moves just to the south or just near Daytona Beach. It'll continue to work its way, like I said, into the Gulf as we go into later on this afternoon and into tonight. And then we'll have to wait and see what kind of development we see. Gulf is not too bad as far as some development out there. We don't have a whole lot of wind shear or anything like that, so there is some room for it to maybe develop into maybe a tropical depression, a tropical storm. If it does become a tropical storm, it would be Tropical Storm Dexter. That's the next letter D, so Dexter. So we're going to be watching it. Right now, the Hurricane Center says this has got about a 40% chance of developing over the next 7 days. So we'll monitor it for you. Oh my gosh, I'm not even going to say monitor it for you. And I can't say it. I'm not going to even try anymore. It's going to go out into the northern Gulf and eventually maybe make its way up into southeastern Louisiana. That's what kind of the forecast is looking at right now. Maybe some very heavy rainfall in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, maybe over towards Lafayette, and even some of that moisture is going to be pushed over here into southeast Texas. So we could pick up maybe 1, 2, 3, or 4 inches of rain from the system as it moves in. And it looks like Friday into Saturday. Heavier rain definitely going to be closer to the center of the storm, like I said, which looks like it's going to be maybe southeastern Louisiana, somewhere in that area as we head towards later on in the week. So, yeah, of course that track could change a little bit. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait to see if it even develops into something. 40% chance of development is not 100%, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. I would not doubt that this possibly becomes a weak tropical storm and they name it Dexter. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Anyway, Futurecast not showing much for this afternoon, as we'll see temperatures climbing up into the middle 90s. Then we'll back off into the 80s for this evening. And then overnight looks like mostly clear skies. We'll see temperatures dropping back through the 70s as we head towards the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning. As we get into tomorrow afternoon, not much chance for rain as temperatures climb once again lower to middle 90s, and can't rule out something isolated again tomorrow, but once again we'll see our coverages being less than 10%. Coastal marine forecast for today, a south wind at 5 to 10 knots, seas around 2 feet, high tide 6:59 for this evening. Our sunset tonight is at 8:18, water temperature at 86. South winds between about 8 to 10 miles an hour right now off Texas Point. Look for a light chop on the inland lakes and bays for today. Forecast, we're calling for partly cloudy skies, isolated shower possible. I showed you a few of those on radar. We'll see those kind of throughout the afternoon, mainly I think around the triangle here south of I-10. Temperature's going to be into the lower to middle 90s, 93, 94 for later on this afternoon. And then as we drop into the overnight hours, we'll see temperatures middle 70s around the triangle, and we could see some lower 70s up towards the lake, 72 or 73. Mostly clear skies, no rain expected overnight. And once again, we'll see some south winds, fairly light, if not calm, going into Wednesday. Wednesday looks hot and dry, about 94. Heat index going to be 102 to 104. Like today, make sure if you're going to be outside for an extended period of time, take some breaks from time to time, get in the AC, make sure you stay hydrated. Thursday, 20% chance for a few showers out there, and then here comes the heavier rains on Friday and Saturday. Like I said, at this point it looks like just some heavy rain coming in for Friday and Saturday with maybe 1 or 2 inches of rain each day. So like I said, anywhere between maybe 2 to 4 inches of rain total for Friday, Saturday, and then by Sunday it looks like we'll just see a few showers here and there. By Monday it should weaken and be out of here, and we'll go with hot and dry once again. So we'll continue to monitor the situation for Friday and Saturday as we'll wait and see exactly what's going to be going on as we head towards that part of the week. Like I said, at this point, looks like more likely towards Louisiana as it kind of drifts off towards the west through the next several days. Want to go back and take a look at radar one more time and see what's popping up out there. Like I said, there's not a whole lot going on. Also, check the phone real quick here, and we can see if there's anybody sending in any questions. No questions. So hopefully I've done my job and you kind of understand what's going to be happening here as we go through the next 7 days, especially towards Friday and Saturday. And hopefully nobody will message me and tell me to use the word monitor. 409-749-9302. That's the weather impact phone line. Like I said, you can't call, but you can definitely text us if you have any questions towards the end of the week, especially Friday, Saturday. If you have maybe some outdoor plans you've got going on, maybe a backyard party coming up on Friday night or Saturday night, text us and ask us about the weather. I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't have an outdoor party for Friday or Saturday. It looks like it could get fairly wet for both those days. We'll see those rain coverages getting up pretty high, I think, as that storm system moves through the Gulf and works its way off towards the west. All right, let's take a look one more time at radar. Like I said, there's not a whole lot out there. If you're getting ready to head out to lunch, there are a few spotty showers through Jefferson County. That's about it. Port Arthur, seeing that little bit of a heavy downpour. Taylor Landing, there's that one shower on I-10. Maybe a few more showers west of Winnie there, but not much at all. Pretty quiet across the area. And like I said, we'll see a few more of these as we go through the afternoon. That's about it. Let me take a look back down towards Florida here, and you can see once again, this is what we're looking at right now, and we'll have to wait and see what it does. It's definitely going to be moving out into the Gulf as we head towards later on today into tonight, and then we'll see. Like I said, the atmosphere in the Gulf, there's not a lot of wind shear out there. There is a chance for some development there, but none of the computer models really showing anything as far as a major hurricane or even a hurricane for that matter. There's one model or so that might show it a little bit stronger than the others, but for most of the models showing a very weak system coming on shore, maybe southern Louisiana towards southeast Louisiana, sometimes late Thursday going into Friday. I still think this will bring us rain. We're still looking at possibility of some pretty good showers, a lot of moisture being pushed this way as we head towards, it looks like, Friday into Saturday. So as I mentioned, each one of those days we could pick up 1 or 2 inches. So anywhere between maybe 1 to 4 inches of rain for a couple of days. But we saw that, gosh, over the last couple of weeks, we've been seeing days like that where we've been seeing, you know, heavy rainfall where we pick up 1 or 2 inches of rain during an afternoon. So it's kind of something like that. This will not be something we'll have to worry about as far as wind. It doesn't look like. I don't think we're going to have to worry about very strong winds with this at all. If it does become a tropical storm, that starts at about 39 miles per hour. So around the center of the storm, and it'd probably be just around the center of the storm, you could see maybe some wind gusts up over probably 40 miles an hour. It becomes a tropical storm, and that will be mainly where it first comes onshore. So that's mainly going to be probably southern Louisiana as some of that moisture gets over to us. So I don't think we're going to have to worry about wind at all. It's just the heavy rainfall out there for a couple of days. Unfortunately, that's going to come not only Friday, but Saturday too. So part of your weekend is going to be pretty wet. Sunday, I don't think it's going to be quite as wet. We'll have to, like I said, we'll have to wait and see. We're going to monitor this 40%. I'm going to say monitor 18 times now because I couldn't say it earlier. 40% chance of some development here as it gets out into the Gulf. So something we're watching. We'll keep you updated. We'll definitely be on the newscast updating it. We'll be on social media updating it as well.